Annette here. How you doing? Welcome back. And wow, I've got a little bit of excitement for you. I finished my granddaughter's rug. Okay, so I will go over and get it because it was blocking, and it had a little some bumps on it. And that sometimes happens when you take a really long time to finish this rug. It sits and stretches on the frame, especially if a lot of it's completed. The weight of it kind of pulls, and kind of that's what I did. So I've learned my lesson. I learned my lesson in two areas: not to make a rug that big ever again, and not to let it sit there for that long and take that long to complete it. But it is done. It's binded, and I will go grab it for you. So before I do that, I just want to say welcome back. It's been a while, 3 months ago, and it was 55 degrees in February when I did my last show, and today it is June 6th, and it is still 55 degrees. So here in New England. Okay, hang tight, grab a cup of tea, and meet me back here in 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Okay, and I have the rug here in my lap. I'll show it to you in a minute. So I have a cup of tea because unfortunately it's not iced tea weather here. It's hot tea weather. So I've got a little lemongrass and ginger, Taylor's, and I believe this came from Betty Collins over in the UK. Thank you, Betty, if you're watching. I'm still using up your tea. So there you go. Never had lemongrass and ginger, but for something warm today, because it's not that wonderful out here, unfortunately. Gardening's been going good, and then it took a little hiatus because it got really kind of chilly out. Oh wow, that is really good with honey. So those of you who are new, it's my Loom knitting show. I've transcended it into and transformed it into another show with loom knitting, because I love to loom knit, and sewing, and kind of whatever I make with sewing I share. And it's been really busy. I've been doing lots of things. I've been sewing aprons, and still sewing some gloves to stash them for the winter for next year. I was doing a lot of knitting for family out in California a couple of months ago. Those are all sent out. So next year they have some nice gloves to wear over there. It does get a little cool where they are. And so let's get to the finished rug. I'm going to just switch this around a little so we can get a better look. Okay. Can you see all of it? Let's see. I can tell you. Yes, there you go. Okay, it's done. It's completely done. Okay, in the back I did put my label. And it's just, again, I zigzag all around the edge and turn it under with the tape. And it's just stitched on by hand. There. Oh my goodness, how long did this take? This took a really, really long time. I'm thinking like from the time I started it and on the show 2 summers ago this was started. And yeah, so thank you for sticking with me and watching along. This will be going to my granddaughter's house tomorrow, and I am very excited for her to get that. So thank you so much again for being a part of that and allowing me to share that with you and for you on YouTube. So what else is new? I've been sewing, and for those of you who also sew, I bought some new books because I've been kind of out of the loop of sewing clothing, but I did grab this one, and it's the Tunic Bible, and this has all kinds of tunics. Whatever tunic you're into, it has it. And it's a really awesome, awesome book. And it comes with the patterns. So that's what's falling out over here, my patterns. And that's the back. What else? I got Love at First Sight by Tilly Sews, I guess, or that's what there's a YouTube video that she does, and it's Tilly. Okay, yeah, she wrote in here, happy stitching, Tilly. So if you look up Tilly Sews, Tilly, great. And this also does come with patterns, so you can either cut them out, or they kind of overlap, which I kind of don't like that so much. When I get a pattern, I want to cut it out and just use it in my size, and these are all overlapping, so you have to actually trace these because they're printed on both sides. It's so not a fan of some of these. I'm not sure if this one does it, but yeah, a lot of them are doing that now. Anyway, and I got this book. Okay, Lotta Jen's daughter. And great clothes. Very, very basic, simple clothes. If I haven't shared this with you before, just very quickly, very, like, for a beginner, absolutely. And you can, you know, embellish them or trim them up the way you want. But again, patterns that you have to kind of trace yourself. So I'm not too excited about that. Okay, so let's see what else. Back to rug hooking. Like I said, I probably won't do, I don't think I'd ever do a rug that big again. I find them tedious, and I actually got to be honest with you, I found it was even kind of that's probably my biggest rug to date, and it was definitely cumbersome towards the end of it, and the hooking was not as enjoyable because it's on a frame and the weight of it is pulling down. Even with clamps, keeping it rolled up, it still doesn't change the weight situation, and so it pulled a lot. It was hard to turn it. You know, it just, you know, I kudos to those of you who do the big rugs, because I think you probably know what I'm talking about. They can get kind of cumbersome to work around unless they're all spread out on you, and you have a table holding it up somewhere. Mine wasn't like that, so maybe it's not as bad as if you also have one of those big frames that you're working on, like Deanne Fitzpatrick, where it just, the frame itself will hold up that whole rug because it's so big, the frame. But that's not my frame's smaller. It's the Anderson small frame, and so I found that it was just getting a bit cumbersome. So what I decided to do was, never done it before. I wanted to do pillow tops, and so I think those would be fun because those can be done probably within a month or two. You're done with your pillow top, depending on how much. It could probably be done in a week. But I intermingle my loom knitting and rug hooking and sewing kind of all simultaneously, so I don't really devote all of my time anymore to one thing. Plus it also gives my hands a little rest from the hooking and my neck and that sort of thing. So I think it's kind of good for me to break it up. So that's where we're at with that. And what I think I like about doing pillow tops, or even, you know, a smaller piece, is that, you know, your ideas are floating around in your head so much that you kind of want to get to the next idea. You kind of almost rush through a rug because it's like, oh, I can't wait to get to that next idea. And then do you really, you know, the rug might kind of almost become a little boring to you to work on. I don't want it to get like that. So I thought this would be kind of good for me. I've got what you call sewing and rug hooking and loom knitting ADD. I've got to get my things done kind of fast, or I lose my connection with it and I kind of put it down and I don't want to go back to it. So this is what I'll be doing. So the next time I do a video will be after I've gotten my pattern down and it's ready to start hooking. I will then share that with you. And for those of you who loom knit and you're looking at my show for some loom knitting, I have a lot of yarn that I still haven't showed you, but I wanted to try a new yarn. It's not, okay, it's the Plymouth yarn, and I've showed that to you before, but this is the DK, the Encore DK. And this is the Dizzy Sheep, and it's $3.99, and it's, I believe, 75% acrylic, 25% wool, 150 yards. And it's the DK, which for some people, they might even say, wow, that almost looks like a worsted. That's how nice it is. But not quite. But for you loom knitters out there who are using the looms, the Cindy Wood loom has a 30 peg half-inch. So it makes a tighter, closer weave. But if you kind of know looms, it'll make a bigger glove. I can't explain it, but that's kind of how it works. So what you do with that in order to kind of make it still have a little stretch and ribbing and elasticity is you go down and you use something like a DK on it, and it gives it a nice finer weave. And it's just, that's what I'm doing with these. So you know. And this is washable, and it wears like amazing. So I guess this would have been for kids' clothing or children's clothing, but I'm going to use it to have a finer weave, finer gauge fingerless glove. So this one here is, it's called Dizzy Sheep, and it's a pretty brown color. I've got 2 of those. It's very pretty. And I got the gray. As you could see, do you see what I'm talking about? It is quite, it's not that thin. I mean, it's pretty nice for a DK. And then I've got this color, which is Village Yarn. Nope, it just says Dizzy Sheep, not sure why. And again, I don't know what color that is. And this pretty blue color. Oh, it's going by numbers. That's the problem. Okay. Color 658. Sorry, but it is beautiful. It's like a heathery blue. Very, very soft for an acrylic and wool. Very soft. I must say, if you haven't ever tried Encore, try it. You will love it. It washes and wears like iron. It is so good. And for those who like a little wool for warmth and durability, it's in there, and it's super soft. So if you want something for children, it's also good for them. I have made fingerless gloves for my granddaughter, and I will make her a pair with the wool, just because I think wool keeps you even a little warmer. So yeah, and they like the fingerless gloves, the little ones, because they have a little bit more dexterity to do things. Some, just grabbing balls outside to play, and it just keeps their little hands and their wrists a little warmer. And they knit up so quickly, like, oh my gosh, just, an hour or 2 of loom knitting and they're done. And what else? What else can I show you? I had a new magazine. Let's see if it's in here. Oh. For those of you who sew, Sew News is really nice, and it's got some good stuff in it. And I'm always learning something new. This one has how to do the ribbed neckband in here, which I like. I did that on one of my shirts. And there you go. So there's that, Sew News. Really good issue. And so I made myself some aprons while I was starting to sew. So I'll go and show you one of those right now. Okay, here's my latest apron, and I like black. It doesn't show up anything on it, and I use them for gardening, and it's got some big old pockets, and it's a cross back. So there you go. It crisscrosses. You just put it over your head, and there's no strings or buttons or anything. And that's that. That's what's been going on. And so yes, and I'm sorry I don't have anything started for rug hooking yet. So I'll be thinking about what to do and what to make, but I keep busy, and I will be making my next hooked pillow with just yarn, because I am switching over. I am not going to be cutting strips anymore, nor do I kind of feel compelled to do that. I think we go through little stages of what we're willing to do, especially as we get older, how much time we want to invest, so as we can maybe pursue other interests too. And I think that just using the yarn for me would be just something that I'm excited to do. And I'll be phasing out the wool, but I've been using it up and making other things with it. And so yes, and I have a nice little supply of yarn, not that much. I guess I'll have to be connecting with Seal Harbor rug yarn. Maybe make a trip up there soon and pick up some more yarn. And if you haven't been over to Seal Harbor rug yarn on the internet, absolutely look them up. Melina White is the owner, and they have a lovely dyer. I think her name is Liz. Not sure, but I think that's what it is. And she does all the dyeing, and the colors are beautiful. And like I've said before, if you've listened to me on other shows, they have a top-notch quality rug yarn, and the colors are amazing. And the selection, there's over 200 colors. You can buy a color card. I think it's $25 or $35, and you get a little, you get a nice snippet of all their colors, so you can play with that, and that's always fun to do, which colors you're choosing, and then you place your order. Or you can go right up to Vermont and visit her in her studio and look at all the beautiful yarn up close, and it is just absolutely wonderful. And last time I went, she actually had a rug in progress in the middle of the studio, and that was really fun to see. And you see the vats where they're dyeing them. And I do have a video of that. If you look on under my videos, it will be this visit to the Seal Harbor Rug Yarn Company, and you can see what that was like, and you can even get to meet Melina. So go ahead, hop over there. She's doing variegated yarns, and she does little bundles of them, which is kind of fun. I think I'm going to be doing something like that and getting some of her jewel tone colors. I love those. Those are nice and deep, and they just look so great hooked into a rug, you know. But like if you did that stained glass effect, I mean, she just has great colors. And the pricing is wonderful. So if you buy a lot of it, it's obviously a little cheaper, but still her prices are cheaper than anybody else around for 65 yards of rug hooking yarn. I believe it's still at $10. So that to me is a really good price. And let's see. What else has been going on? Oh, for those of you who Loom knit, there's a new video podcaster, and she is Loominati, Loominati, and I'm assuming she's over the pond over in England somewhere, because she has an accent. Does not sound like me. So, and she's fun to listen to. And I also, let's see, I think that's about it. I haven't started following anybody new. I've been really busy in the garden and finishing up on that rug. It had to get done. I completed it last night, the last stitching on the binding, and that took about a half an hour. That was all. And it was, again, a long time coming, and to work on it, you know, what you do with that rug, and in that time you experience lots of things, good and bad, fun and not so fun, and so that rug kind of holds all those experiences with it. So it's, you know, your rug is your comfort. Sometimes it's good to have that go-to project to just kind of break out of what might be going on in your life, and a little stress buster. So so have at it. Enjoy whatever you're working on. I hope you're all doing something creative and lovely and fun and something that brings joy to your life, whether it's weekly or daily or monthly, whatever you're into doing. I'm just, it's so good to have people working on stuff that are beautiful, and we share them and we give them away as gifts, and some we keep, and that's good too. They'll be handed down to other generations. So for now, I want to thank you again for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And until then, happy hooking and happy creating. Bye now.